Hello, I'm a massive horror junkie. Games, movies, weird VHS tapes of priests coughing blood, all of it. Over the years I found it harder and harder to actually feel scared, whether it's from horror movies, games, or anything in between. Either the genre got softer, or I just got numb to it. So for this Halloween special, I present to you a few horror games that still genuinely get under my skin. If this one does well, I'll make part 2 with some more obscure nightmare fuel games, and if it doesn't, we'll just treat it as a one-off. Let's go!
Welcome to the party, honey!
Let's start with something obvious. Alien Isolation, the real sequel Alien movie never got. You play as Amanda Ripley, Ellen's daughter, running around a derelict space station that's gone completely to hell. There's an alien loose, humans shooting each other, and creepy androids roam around that look like phantomas. The whole game feels like being trapped inside the last 20 minutes of the original movie, except it lasts about 15 hours. You're flipping switches, pulling levers, welding doors, hacking terminals, while hiding from death itself. And the game's gorgeous too. Even 11 years later, it's all painfully faithful to the only Alien movie that really matters. The coolest thing about Alien Isolation, of course, is the alien itself. Its AI actually runs in two layers. There's a director AI and the alien AI. The director quietly tracks you and feeds vague hints to the creature. The alien then hunts you using its own behavior tree. It doesn't know where you are, but it's learning. Basically, one AI knows everything and the other's trying to figure it out. But enough technical balderdash, yeah? This game's terrifying because of the tension. You've got weapons for humans and androids, but none of them work on the alien. Eventually you do get a flamethrower, but it burns through fuel like a 70s utility van and only buys you like 30 seconds of breathing room. And it doesn't hurt the alien, just pisses it off. Bottom line, Alien Isolation isn't just a great horror game, it's a great alien game. The best apology you could have ever hoped for after the Colonial Marines fiasco. The next one is the Outlast series. All three games are terrifying in their own way, but I want to focus on Outlast 2 this time. Outlast is a series of first-person horror games made and published by Red Barrels. The main shtick is simple. You play as someone who can't fight back. You can only hide, run, and outsmart your enemies with nothing but a camera with night vision. What genuinely terrifies me about Outlast 2 is how real it feels, but not visually, more like conceptually. It's not out of the realm of possibility that somewhere, right now, in the middle of nowhere, there's an apocalyptic cult doing unspeakable things under the command of some psychotic messiah figure. There are no ghosts or monsters here aside from Blake Langerman's weird school memories, those like flashbacks happening in his head. Just broken and manipulated zealots doing outlandish things that feel too believable sometimes. Outlast 2 doesn't feel like fiction. It feels like something that could actually happen and probably already has to some extent. By the way, it's not even my favorite in the series. Honestly, it's my least favorite. My first playthrough was miserable because I decided to play on the hardest difficulty like some doofus with something to prove. But still, it's one of the few horror games that actually made me pause and think, yeah, this could exist. And that's why it still terrifies me. One more thing I've always loved about the Outlast series, Red Barrels knows how to craft villains. They're horrific and magnetic and completely deranged human beings that feel ripped straight out of a real nightmare.
Kill that child if you can. If you love anything at all, crush its skull under your heel.
What's going up in there, mate? In your thick fucking skull?
And next up I've got SOMA, and this one shook me up pretty good. If you've finished the game, you already know what I mean, but for the sake of keeping this spoiler-free, I won't go too deep into what happens at the end. SOMA is basically a walking simulator from hell. You don't fight here. You hide, you run, and you piece together what the hell happened in that underwater facility by reading logs and listening to audio diaries. It's claustrophobic to a fault, and it leaves you with an existential dread so heavy, it just kinda lingers in your chest for a while, like some early Black Mirror episode. No, not this one. SOMA is made by Frictional Games, the same studio that created Amnesia: The Dark Descent, another horror classic that raised the bar and pretty much launched PewDiePie and Markiplier into stardom. I don't think SOMA is scarier than Amnesia in the traditional sense, but it's not really trying to be. It's not just about scaring you, it's more about making you question what's left of you once the fear fades and the credits roll. The atmosphere is incredible, the sound design's top tier, and it's one of those games I keep coming back to whenever I feel like being just a little more miserable than usual. Because to me, an eternity of suffering isn't terrifying because of the pain, it's terrifying because it can happen through pure indifference. Again, this all will probably make more sense to those who have already finished the game, and if you haven't, give it a go. It's not too hard and it gives you a platinum trophy just by finishing it on normal difficulty.
Christ. This is awful. We did an awful fucking thing.
And lastly, I've got my favorite horror game of all time. One of my most revered pieces of horror media, period. Darkwood. It's a top-down survival horror made by a small Polish studio called Acid Wizard, which by the way sounds equally like a game dev team and a stoner doom band. I first heard about Darkwood from someone online who said, "It's a horror game with no jump scares." It got me intrigued, and yeah, that's technically true. If you just look at screenshots or like short clips, it doesn't look scary or something that could disturb you or disgust you. And it's a trick, man. Darkwood doesn't rely on jump scares, but it digs under your skin slowly, and by the time you notice, you're already rotting from the inside. Right from the start, the game tells you you're not here for a comfy, spooky ride with chicks catching axes with their foreheads. You begin by killing your dying dog with an axe. It's not fun, and it's not edgy, it's just wrong, and that's exactly what sets the tone. You start your journey in a distant Polish village as a doctor interrogating a man. Then the perspective shifts and you realize that the man being interrogated is you. You are the stranger, a scarecrow-looking nobody trapped in a forest that's very much alive. You learn from a man in an atmospheric diving suit that to survive you'll have to scavenge during the day, barricade your hideout, and survive the night. The darkness here is deadly, so your generator must stay fueled. Oh, and you'll also need to boil mushrooms. The scent supposedly keeps whatever's lurking in the dark away. Supposedly. The map's procedurally generated, but the main points of interest stay roughly the same, just shuffled around. At first you have no sense of time or direction, you just wander, scavenging, praying you make it back before dark. Then you barricade your hideout and wait, and listen. It starts small, weird knocks on the door, creaks, distant voices, and night after night things get louder, closer, and more desperate. You kind of start wondering if what's inside actually wants in, or if it already is. Darkwood also has one of the most unforgettable casts in horror gaming. The diving suit man, tinfoil hat man named Piotrek, the musician, the chicken lady, the elephants, each one extremely grotesque, lonely, and just fascinating. Every time you talk to them, this haunting portrait appears beside the dialogue. Just look at this art and tell me it doesn't choke the air right out of you. I'll probably make a full dedicated video on Darkwood in 2026. I've got way too much to say about it, you can probably tell already. Before I wrap this up, just two things. First, the devs officially released a torrent link for those who can't afford the game and said, if you like it, maybe buy it later to support us. How based is that? Second, in Darkwood you can eat a granny. That's it, mic drop. Alright, tell me what you think, share your favorite horror games, and check out the other 4 games videos, they're on the screen now. If there's a Halloween party in your area, go dressed up as the stranger from Darkwood, or a chicken leg, either way, send me pictures.